What's up, Travel Squad? We are back at it again.
Back at it again.
And today we are talking about the top 5
I wasn't expecting that. Cruise mistakes that you should avoid in 2023.
that we pretty much made.
These are all things we've done, so we want to help you not do them.
So this is a huge one. It might not seem like it, but it is. So a huge thing that we learned the hard way was when Laura got sick with COVID on Symphony of the Seas. And how are you feeling, Laura?
A lot worse.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I feel like I have a fever. I think I'm gonna have to take some Tylenol. Oh my God, it really sucks.
Before we knew it was COVID, we tried to get like cough drops, cough medicine, all that stuff on a ship, and the cruise ship has cleared it out and put it in the infirmary. So you have to go down there if you have a cough or something like that and pay like a huge markup price for like Robitussin, whatever it is. Our little advice, when you get on the ship, bring like a little quart-sized Ziploc bag with like cough syrup, allergy medicines, cough drops, just like little med kit batteries, maybe, not batteries, Band-Aids maybe, just so you have it. So like if you're feeling under the weather, it's not COVID if you bring a COVID test, so you don't have to go through the whole process of the infirmary. It is a very lengthy process, especially if you have like excursions or something later that day.
And as we all know, these cruise lines can charge pretty pennies for these medications that they carry on board, or even in the gift shops. It's just not worth it.
I agree. Like it's like $30 for like a bottle of Robitussin, which is normally like $7. Make yourself a little med kit and bring it on board with you. This little tip has saved us a lot of money when it comes to enjoying our cruise.
If you are a first-time cruiser, you may be tempted to book an excursion through the cruise line for each port that you're going to.
Because you don't really have to worry about anything. It's just like carefree. You go here, you stand here, and you just wait for your excursion to start.
But it is quite an expense, and you can typically find those same excursions for less money if you book outside of the cruise line.
For instance, we went to Alaska and did a helicopter ride. It was $600, I believe, for both of us to do it. And I think through the cruise line, 1, it was already sold out, but 2, it was like double the price for both of us. And we still got the same experience. I cannot believe this right now. We're on top of a glacier. How was that flight though?
So I was holding on to myself. I don't even know for dear life.
What were you holding on to?
My body was so tense, probably halfway up here, but then I finally started to relax. It was actually a really, really smooth ride.
Yeah.
But landing, I like shut my eyes so tight. I was terrified of the landing.
I mean, there is some risk factors to it.
I always highly recommend that you do some research. Definitely check out reviews of the company, make sure it's legitimate. But I think as long as you are seeing some good signs on their website or on those reviews, I would go for it.
Most of these companies are like mom and pop shops, or they're trying to break into the cruise industry to get more business. So they don't want their reputation tarnished. So they're gonna give you the best performance and best like quality of service. The majority of the time, these companies are trying to prove themselves and actually get on the bill for the cruise ships to reach out to them for excursions.
And it's always great to be able to give your money to small businesses.
Exactly.
Now, before we get into the rest of these tips, if you guys are enjoying this content and these tips, please make sure that you like this video and maybe hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of us. Exactly. You can also hit that notification bell if you want to get notifications every time we post. And we even offer memberships down below if you're interested in a few extra perks.
But on to the next one. I think one of the biggest mistakes that we made while cruising last year was purchasing the key for Royal Caribbean. I know this can be very controversial, and we have gotten comments saying like people have been using it and it was effective and stuff like that. But for us, I feel like it was just like a waste of money, and it needs to be updated.
Yeah, some people really love the key and the benefits that it has to offer, but for us, it just didn't end up being worth the price.
I think the one thing that was very beneficial for the key is that we were able to drop our luggage off early.
I will say that was really nice, but it's not worth paying a fee for.
It's expensive. However long the cruise is, that's how many days you have to pay for, and it can get really pricey. One of the things is like tender priority, like first come, but we don't ever tender anywhere anymore. So it's like kind of like a wasted feature.
Yeah, I feel like they really need to go back and revamp that program along with Carnival's Faster to the Fun. I think that a lot more benefits need to be added to charge a fee for that service.
Which leads us into our next mistake.
The next mistake that you do not want to make on your cruise in 2023 is not taking advantage of checking in online early for your cruise. You can get the earliest in-person check-in times if you check in early online. So I want to clarify, we are not talking about the day of your cruise, checking in at the port. We are talking about kind of like your pre-registration before you go and get on your cruise. When they open up the check-in time,
it's like a month
you can
out.
register for that. I think some of the earliest ones we've seen are like 11 a.m.
I think Wonder was like 10 something,
yeah.
10:30.
So if you don't get on there early enough and it's a pretty packed cruise, you could wind up with a check-in time where you can't even get to the port until like 2:30.
And they are really strict on you not being able to check in until your time. But the opposite of that, if you get like a late check-in time, by that time everybody's been on it's already on the cruise ship and you can kind of like breeze through. Like for our Disney cruise, our check-in time was a little later, so we were able just to like walk right through the port. Look at all this. There's no one here. This is amazing.
Oh, so nice.
I don't know if it's because we're late, but it's
season.
What do you think? Was that a lot simpler than
That was so quick and easy.
For real. So I've been timing this thing since we got here, and
of course you
it's
have.
9 minutes.
Oh, really?
Since before we walked in, security, and through like checking in, all that stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of like a benefit to that, but at the same time, definitely recommend get online and then check in early to get that prime time and spend the most time you can on the ship.
Find out when that online check-in is and set an alarm on your phone for it. Set a reminder and get it done. Next, we want to talk about carry-on luggage.
This has helped us out a lot.
We've seen a lot of tips online that say don't overpack, don't bring a lot of stuff that you don't need. However, having that extra piece of carry-on luggage can make debarkation so much easier for you.
So much smoother.
What we like to do is we have that extra piece of carry-on luggage outside of our own suitcases.
And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be like a huge, like a big suitcase. It can be a duffel bag.
It can even be a little duffel bag.
It can be like a big purse you put chickens in to take them into the movie theater. It can be a roll-on.
Put what in?
Like, you know how when sometimes the movie food is so expensive so people bring their own meals into the movie theater?
You want some popcorn?
I brought me a little snack of my own. You want some chicken?
Nah.
It was like a joke, like you could put a whole chicken in there and they have like a whole meal. Never mind.
Okay, put chickens in it.
The reason why this is important is because the day before you disembark on the cruise ship, you have to pack up all your stuff in your room, put it out in front of the door. They take out your bags for the next day.
If you want to.
If you want to, yeah. Or you can stay in and pack your stuff up later the next morning when you get off the ship. But that means you have to take your big luggage with you throughout the ship, and it's kind of just a pain. So what we have figured out is that when you bring your extra bag, you can pack most of your stuff up, but like leave your toiletries, just like an outfit, like those type of things, and you can just throw them in your bag the next morning and still be Gucci to go.
A lot of people, they end up not having an outfit to wear on debarkation day because they pack all their stuff and you really don't want to get off the cruise ship in your PJs. So you can put your pajamas in that carry-on case the next morning and then have an outfit that was laid out for your debarkations. Even on embarkation day, like let's say you want a pair of flip-flops or a swimsuit to change into because you're not getting your luggage until later.
Yeah,
you can have that in the carry-on.
You dropped them off at the porter and you just recommend it. Or it can even like be a beach bag or something you can just roll up and just have just in case. So when you pack up all your luggage the night before you get off the ship, you'll have something to put all your stuff in.
Yeah, especially having to wear a pair of like dirty leggings off the ship the next day because I forgot to lay out my clean ones, so.
All right guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed some tips.
If you have any cruise tips or tricks or any cruise mistakes that you've made in the past, leave those down below so that other people can check those out and maybe learn from them as well.
Even though we've been on a lot of cruises, we have not mastered it yet.
We definitely can still use all the tips and tricks that we can get.
Please and thank you. But as always guys, thank you so much and we will see you guys later.
Bye.